The crazy story of Brigitte continues, and the topic is being fueled with more and more mysterious clues. In the recent episode of her podcast, Candace Owens presented new findings, including this picture, that immediately made everyone's jaw drop. We will compare this picture to Brigitte's recent pictures today. No worries, that's what I'm here for. So, little backstory. One of Candace's followers on X saw the picture of the guy in glasses in a documentary about 1971 Stanford experiment. For those of you who don't know, back in 1971 at Stanford, a psychologist named Philip Zimbardo turned the basement of the psych building into a fake prison. He got a bunch of college guys, split them into guards and prisoners, and just told them to play their roles. What happened? Total chaos. The guards got way too into it, bullying and humiliating the prisoners, while the prisoners started breaking down emotionally. It was supposed to run for 2 weeks, but it got shut down in just 6 days. The whole thing showed how quickly power can mess with people's behavior, but it also raised huge ethical questions. To this day, it's one of the most famous and most controversial psychology experiments ever. So allegedly, this picture appeared in one of the documentaries about the said experiment. And it immediately reminded people of this now famous picture, allegedly of Michel Trogneux at 18 years old versus Brigitte Macron's recent picture. Now, if you have been following my content for a while, you know that I became obsessed with comparing and analyzing those pictures. I'm always trying to be fair and leave the bias at the door because honestly, I got no skin in the game. I said it before and I will say it again. I just want to know. I just finally want to know what's the truth. Whether Brigitte is a woman or not, whether Candace is right or not, I just want to know. So, I will do a few interesting comparisons, some of them requested by you guys in the comments of my last video. You can find it right here. And in general, all the previous videos about this case you can find linked in the description under this video. I found a side profile picture of Brigitte Macron and wanted to compare it to this newfound photograph of one of the members of the Stanford experiment. Mind you, we don't know who this person is, we are only going by the looks. There is no documentation, no names, nothing that could point at Brigitte here. We are all counting on Candace's week of research to give us some new information about that in the upcoming Becoming Brigitte Season 2 series. But the guy looks pretty similar, so let's humor it. Here are the pictures side by side, and you can't help but notice the similarities. The nose shape and the size, the philtrum is that space between nose and the top lip. And yes, I googled what it's called in English, philtrum. And I googled what it's called in Polish, rynienka podnosowa or bruzda podnosowa. And then I googled it in Greek, it's filtro or iporinio avlaka. And then to come full circle, in French they also call it filtrum, but with French accent. Or more medically, sillon filtral. So the philtrum is quite similar. I feel the facial expression is different, but the length and the similarity with the top lip is there. Also the position of the eyes, okay, and the nose. It's like it aligns. I created this state-of-the-art animation completely myself in Canva just to make it easier for you guys to visualize. So let's play it. Canva, sponsor me, eh? So here you go. Can you see? I mean, I cannot state it, but it's just, it's overwhelming. It completely sits where it's supposed to sit, okay? I don't know. But I want to remind you that we do not have any facts here. This could be a brother or doppelganger or uncle or long-lost twin. Who the hell knows? For now though, it's a man that looks very similar to France's First Lady. A man allegedly involved in a very evil experiment. You know what comes next? ChatGPT! For the new people here, just for fun, I asked ChatGPT if the pictures I compare are of the same person and what's the probability in percentage. It is not scientific. We know AI tools are biased. We know they are not reliable, so this is for entertainment purposes only. Anyway, here's what ChatGPT had to say. Both side profiles show strong similarities in nose shape, jawline, chin, and mouth projection, making them quite consistent. Estimated probability 80 to 85%. How interesting. Let's see about this picture now, okay? Because I just want to remind you guys what ChatGPT said about these two pictures. So current picture of Brigitte Macron and the alleged Jean-Michel Trogneux at 18 years old. Both photos show strong similarities in facial proportions, nose-shaped mouth and chin, with the same style of glasses enhancing the resemblance, 75 to 80%. I actually saw a TikTok of someone saying that once you establish the style of eyewear that suits your face, you're kind of going to stick to that shape, okay? So if this is the same person, the dude and the older dude, yeah, they're wearing the same shape glasses, okay, all their life. Now a long shot, but let's try these two. So obviously we have a picture facing front, full face, and then the profile. So what I want to say myself first about it is that the glasses frames are different, obviously. You can see on the side, it's a different, what is that called? The leg, the arm, what is it of the glasses? Anyway, yeah, so that part of the glasses, we can definitely see that it's different. But those could be changed, of course. Nobody has one pair of glasses all their lives. Other than the features, the proportions seem to be of the same person. I'm not a specialist, but those two could be on the same Instagram profile of the same guy, showing him from different angles. I would be like, okay, this is the same dude. Looks very similar to me. Here is what ChatGPT had to say. And I'm gonna read you a longer version this time because it's very interesting. So the summary says, glasses both wear identical thick, dark-rimmed frames. Facial structure, the forehead slope, nose length, and chin shape align well. Nose, straight bridge and rounded tip look consistent. Jawline, both have a short, rounded jaw and chin. Ears, position and size are compatible, though less visible in the side profile. Taken together, the similarities in features and eyewear make it highly likely these two photos are of the same person. Estimated probability 85 to 90%. Now, as you know from Candace's podcast, there was a massive discovery recently. Brigitte was quoted in an article saying that she was in America during moon landing. That's July 1969. Candace's team searched for any clues of her entering the country as Brigitte Trogneux at that time or earlier, but there was no sign so far. So far, okay? Maybe there will be more clues presented next week. But what they did find was someone named Jean-Marie Trogneux, who came on a ship into America from Germany. Brigitte Marie Claude Trogneux, Jean-Marie Trogneux, Marie, okay? What the hell? Who is Jean-Marie Trogneux? Is it possible that if the theory about Brigitte being a man is true, there was another family member that actually became Brigitte? Jean-Marie, not Jean-Michel? Once this is cleared out, Venezuela needs to borrow this for a telenovela script, no joke. Here is one of my subscribers' theory. So he says, the problem with this whole ordeal is missing links. Now that Candace's team has located a Jean-Marie Trogneux in the US as a crew member on a ship, but no Jean-Michel Trogneux, nor Brigitte Marie Trogneux, even though she says she was in America when the moon landing happened, my hypothesis is that there was a set of twins, a boy and a girl, Jean-Marie Trogneux and Brigitte Marie Trogneux. Following? Okay. The real Brigitte passed away after having 3 children, and Jean-Marie assumed her identity later. I also believe Jean-Michel Trogneux is the brother, but born at a different time. Or Jean-Michel Trogneux and Jean-Marie Trogneux were twin boys, and Brigitte Marie Trogneux was born after them. She passed away after having the 3 children, and Jean-Marie Trogneux assumes her identity and becomes Brigitte Marie Trogneux Macron. So, basically, twins stories, yeah? What did I tell you? I'd watch this telenovela. That's all we did in Poland back when I was a little girl, watching Milagros and Esmeralda. This one would be Brigida. Brigador! Give me more options, guys. Titles for telenovelas about Brigida. Anyway, following up on my previous episode when I compared Brigitte's alleged childhood pictures to current Jean-Michel's pictures, you guys said you wanted me to do the comparison of those 2 photos as well. So to be honest, personally, I'm skeptical about this one. The nose, the eyes, the mouth are different in this picture. It just doesn't look like the same person to me. Okay? Doesn't mean it's not, but just, I don't know. Doesn't look like. Granted, the expression, the angle, it's all a bit different, but AI disagrees with me. ChatGPT says, both photos show strong similarities in nose, mouth, chin, and ear shape with age-related changes, but consistent structure. Estimated probability 80 to 85%. I don't see it. That's why ChatGPT is entertainment purposes only, okay? Because, I don't know, I'm starting to lose faith. But you have to admit that determining if young adult and an old man are the same person in a photograph shouldn't be that difficult. I found a picture of Michel Trogneux, who passed away, but look at young photo and some older ones to compare. You can clearly see it's the same person, it's the same face. The downward turned eyebrows, okay? They go up until here. Eye shape, mouth, nose, ears, shape of the face, generally. It's like this droopy face, yeah? It's the same person. And just to be fair, again, I'm involving ChatGPT because we do it for all of them. The three photos show consistent nose, mouth, chin, and ear structure with natural age-related changes, suggesting they are likely the same person, 85 to 90% probability. Anyway, like I said, ChatGPT is just for fun. I keep stressing it because then you guys go in the comments and you're like, oh, you trust ChatGPT, you base your research on it. No, I don't base my research or opinions on ChatGPT. We all have eyes and we can form our own opinions about it, okay? But it's fun. We will keep digging for the truth, all right? It will continue. While I was reading about Stanford experiments, I came across those pictures of prisoners, and for a second I thought, oh my God, is this the same guy with glasses that was found on Candace's show? I looked at it further and closer, and I don't think it's the same person. Again, different nose, different chin, different eye shape, different ears. I checked it with ChatGPT as well, and it says the nose and the mouth differed noticeably, one shorter and upturned, the other longer and straighter, making it unlikely they are the same person. Probability 40 to 45%. This is the first time I got this low result, okay? I kept comparing like Trogneux family members, and they all kind of look, they have the similarities. So the results are up there, somewhere between 70 and 90. This is clearly a different person. Even though they both wear glasses, it's a black and white photo. AI wasn't fooled. So in case you guys will be researching Stanford experiment like I am right now, and you come across these photos of that prisoner, most likely is not Michel Trogneux that we are alleging him to be right now, okay? Well, we're not alleging it, it is alleged. But as usual, I want to know what you guys think. Is this guy the same guy as this guy? And is this guy the same as this guy? And is this guy the same as this guy? Let me know in the comments. And keep me posted on your own theories, I love to read them. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. And for even more content, follow me on Instagram @DailyFreddo. That's all for today. Have a good one.